So when I assign a video to a class, I can click Assign, and then I'll go ahead and find the class that I want to assign it to. I'll go ahead and I'll hit Next. There's going to be a few options that you'll have. The first is you can see specifically where students are struggling and any misconceptions that they might have. I strongly encourage that you toggle that on because what it's going to do is it's going to summarize your students' data so you can identify what you might want to reteach or who you might want to reteach items to. You can speed up your videos, allow students to speed up. I always leave that off and I do prevent my students from skipping. I do want to I like turning on my closed captions for my students by default. And then what I do is I go ahead and I click Assign. It will then assign it to my students where they can see the assignments. We talked about Edpuzzle Insights and we toggled that on when we assigned the video. Edpuzzle Insights are going to tell you what students frequently confuse and some of the biggest misconceptions. This works for quizzes and videos and soon to be future to other tools. What I can see, for example, is if I give my students a 7th grade root word quiz, I see that the biggest root word that my students are confused with is photo, because photo means light, but what they're doing is they're associating it with photography, with pictures, and that is giving them incorrect interpretations. I also see that some students are just struggling in general with root words, while I have some other students who can memorize the root word definitions but are struggling to apply them to unfamiliar compound words or real contexts. I can specifically see the students that applies to. I could even click on the student to see specifically what my student is really solid with or what they are struggling with. This can be a great way to respond to data and to make our small groups based off of our data that we're collecting in class. By default, your video will be in self-paced mode. That means that students will watch the video on their devices, responding to questions on their device. They can also open it from their LMS. That is a great option if you want students to control their pace of the video. It can be great for reteach, absent students, small groups, homework, etc. Now, if you want your students to go into live mode, what that will mean is that on your screen, students will watch the video. In the video, what they're going to see is they will see the video show up. You'll watch it full class. And then on their devices, they will not see the video show up. They'll just show up full screen. But questions will pop up on their device. When that question pops up, they'll be able to answer it. Teachers can then project student answers anonymously to the class. This is a great way to lead class discussions and make sure that every student is engaged in the video. To bring a video into live mode, all you'll do is when you get to the video in Edpuzzle or in your LMS, you'll click either the little projector or where it says live mode. That will allow your students, when they navigate to that assignment, to go live. You'd go ahead and hit start and you'll see what shows up. We know that there's a national conversation right now about the use of technology in the classroom. I know that Edpuzzle is a really great resource when we use it intentionally and we put really valuable questions in, and then we are freed up as teachers to support students. However, if you want to use EdTech without having every student have a device, there are some really great options. The first is you could go into that live mode and have students respond on whiteboards. That can be a really great way, instead of giving every student a device, that they can use a whiteboard. You're still seeing every student's level of understanding. You could also use an open class where students can just log in authentically right then and there instead of being attached to an LMS or their email. And you could give a device per table group or partner, allowing students to collaborate together on a video. You could also print a paper note-taking guide for students to follow along with a video as a review guide. And then there are some great strategies such as turn-in talks or graffiti boards or numbered heads together or showdown. I'll put some of these as links where you could not give students devices and instead they are getting up to answer questions on paper. They are working together at their table to answer questions and really collaborating with each other. You do not need to have every student have a computer, but you can take the idea of chunking and having an interactive video and really bring it intentionally into your classroom, whether every student has a device or not. In summary, Edpuzzle Video is a really great way to give your students access to quality videos and make those videos interactive. allowing them to show their understanding of processes, getting access to experts, or just having that really important shared reference point that can make small group instruction really solid. Go ahead and play around with videos, practice editing, practice adding questions, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions.